Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Power Team Life Farm call. We appreciate you being here. My name is Tom Scheffler, coming to you live from Bella Vista, Arkansas on August 23rd, 2015, and we've got a very good call tonight. I've been looking forward to this. I'm very excited about it, and we've got a very special guest on the line here that's very knowledgeable about these four great products that we have and is going to tell us why they're so great. We already know they are, but we want to know a little bit more information about them and how they work the way they do. And just thankful and blessed to have this gentleman on the line with us tonight. But I've got another good friend of mine who happens to be a diamond director before we introduce Dr. Andujar. And I want to have this man come on and share a testimonial that he has from someone, I believe, from the land down under. Stan Brower, appreciate you being with us tonight, buddy. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Welcome, everyone. Yeah, good to be here, Tom. And I don't want to take very long if you have another special guest. But anyway, we do have we do have a testimonial. And I was just looking through the literature here of some of the basic things. Every once in a while, it's good to just get refreshed on what this product does. If you haven't done it lately, go to eggoflife.com, eggoflife.com. And especially if you scroll down to the history section, there's a picture of a guy there that talks about all the functions of the body and why amino acids are so important. And I see the first thing it mentions is when adequate amounts of amino acids are not supplied, disease will result. And while our product doesn't heal anything, it's not a drug, it gives you the basic building blocks that your body can use. And, you know, we know that diseases do result in our body because of lack of different things, and this product gives you those basic building blocks. If you look at the Laminine brochure, which I have in my hand, it talks about it has the avian egg extract plus the marine protein plus the phytoprotein, which gives you all 22 amino acids essential for cellular health. So other than they're more than just a vitamin, mineral supplement or an adaptogen or all the other things that a lot of companies sell, which are all fine and we need, this one is more of a building block program, which is why I say it can do more things for more people in a shorter amount of time than anything I've ever sold, and I've sold a lot of things. And so if you look at that website I mentioned, you can see on there the importance of amino acids. And this testimonial I want to share, which is from a gal in Australia, kind of points that out. This lady seemed to have everything going wrong with her you could have go wrong. And if you hear what I have to say about her testimony, you'll be amazed. And, you know, again, we don't promise people that it's going to fix everything. We just tell them to try this and use it as a building block that your body can get into the cells. And according to our company brochures, it says it improves neuron functions in the brain, which, of course, your brain is your computer, so that's going to tell everything else what to do. It increases amino acids and peptides, and this website will show you the importance of those, and it assigns the proper stem cells to restore the body's organs back to their natural state. And we know there's a lot of research now on stem cells and basic DNA, all that kind of stuff that the people in charge of medicine understand that's where it's all at to get everything working right and to rebuild cells and even organs and parts of our body. And so we're talking about a basic product here that can do so many different things. But this testimonial is from a gal, and she mentioned that at the beginning, I'll just tell you before I go through all her problems, she said, my dosage varies. 2 caps twice a day is the staple minimum. Sometimes I take more when I take off. The cost of the body work I needed, the consultations, the sleep aids, et cetera, the cost of Laminine is nothing. And that's what some people say, well, this stuff costs money. And I said, you know, I hate to be too blunt, but sometimes I say, do you know how much a coffin costs? You can really get into telling people the alternatives of spending lots of money being sick and in the hospital and the doctor's office where all the germs and the sick people are. If you can spend some money taking care of your own health to avoid all that other stuff, which sometimes we're thankful for the doctors and the things they can do, but if we can avoid that and stay healthy with a product like this, it's worth it. But she says, previous to Laminine, I suffered 7 years of illness and chronic fatigue due to, and since she's from Australia, some of these may be things we don't even have here, but she says I had lots of whitetail spider bites, which carry a bacteria that eats into your skin, and the subsequent ongoing intravenous antibiotics and anesthetics, typhus disease, fatal in 60% of the people contracted from a tick bite, Ross River virus, glandular fever, tooth extraction gone wrong, blood poisoning, near death, and 5 days on a drip in a hospital. So that's where she started. And she said I was pretty much devoted to trying to get my health back at all costs. And she tried every superfood and tried working with naturopaths and healers of all kinds, and nothing had any effect until she started on Laminine. And then she said, I was spending a fortune on immune boosters and remedies and appointments and all these other things. I no longer need any of this, and I realize now I feel so good, and I can feel the comparison that I was also suffering from depression, and we know that what our product has to do with the effects of the brain, the stress, the cortisol, and all that, and you can read about that. But she says, I've had full and regular blood work since I started Laminine. My results have amazed my doctor. My thyroid function is perfect. My blood pressure is perfect. Cholesterol, endocrine system, digestive system, all perfect. Halfway through my journey, my blood results were worse, which worried me. I just kept going and came out the other side. And if you read in our literature, you can see where sometimes your body, as it's getting better, will get worse first because it's loosening up all these toxins and things that are stored in your cells, and you're getting rid of them. And if you've got bad things like that in your body, it's better to get them out than to leave them in. So if you take something and you feel worse temporarily, and I'm sure our doctor tonight can address that, but sometimes it's a good thing to get rid of it because that's what it takes to get better. And she says, let me go on with the testimonial here. I'll go to page 2. Sometimes symptoms got better quickly, then they got worse. Some things I wanted fixed immediately were not until other things that were obviously more of a priority were addressed. Sometimes I cried for no reason. Sometimes I had aches and pains in places I hadn't. Sometimes I felt tired. Now, however, I can eat anything without bloating, even wheat, which I was allergic to. I realize no matter how well we eat and how diligent we are, we're exposed to many toxins and pollutants today. Most of these are invisible, and studies on babies that are born with all kinds of contaminants are astounding, everything from lead to fire retardants. I believe Laminine to be the best line of defense I've ever found. My skin has always been dry from my knees down. It's been like an old dry elephant. Since I was 10, it's been like this. I no longer even need to moisturize. Mentally, I'm more patient. I have more time for people. I feel more and more filled up. I can be more effective and helpful to others. This makes me happy. I've had bleeding gums since I was 12. It's genetic. And even though I've had great, strong teeth, every time I used to brush my teeth, it would be red with blood. Sometimes around 2 months ago, I noticed my toothpaste was white after brushing, and it has been ever since. Don't know when that happened. Wasn't watching for it, but clearly it was a priority. I wondered if I could feel any better, and I wondered if this was still working. Even though I couldn't feel it, I decided to see what kind of reserve I had now. So I ate 4 sugar-laden cupcakes and had coffee, and I still slept like a baby, 8 hours of sleep, unheard of previously. If I ate even an apple, it would keep me awake. And coffee, forget it. Refined sugar is not my friend, so it was a good test. And she talks about, I feel more and more bulletproof. The more toxins that are removed over time, the more excess fat and cellulite falls away. They're no longer needed to store the toxins. I have way more trust, and I'm deeply impressed in my body's infinite intelligence to knowing how to heal me. Now, that has the right tool. So anyway, you can see this can cover just about every issue, and it's all about a basic building block that helps the body heal itself. So thank you.
Oh, Stan, thank you very much for sharing that, buddy. That was very powerful. And, you know, folks, sometimes we try to get caught up and be the doctor. Sometimes we try to get out there and explain the details of how and why one of these products or all these products work in the body, and because we want to be the expert. And I've been the same way in the past, and I'm here to tell you less is more. You know, get people on the products, just tell them it works. You don't have to understand electricity to flip a light switch. You've heard that before. And it's so true. Why do we need to understand the wiring diagrams before we can flip on the lights or plug something in and use an appliance or whatever? We just don't need it. And basically, I always have said, as many of you remember from the past, ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice. So you can know everything under the sun and sit there and accomplish nothing, or just get excited simply about the way the products work, that they're getting in the body and they're helping the body get in a state of what they call homeostasis or balance. And to share a little bit more about that tonight and why they work. And by the way, if you want to get a hold of some of your team to come on if they have questions, we're going to open up at the end of this call for question and answer for any questions you may have for Dr. Andujar. Just want you to know that right now. So if you've got somebody that maybe you thought were going to be here, there's several people on this call, but we've got plenty of room for more. So go ahead and give them a call, tell them to get on here and ask their question. But this gentleman absolutely has some incredible accomplishments. First of all, he's a Harvard graduate, a medical doctor, and he may not want me to share this, but I think it's something to brag about. He was a world welterweight kickboxing champion and has an accolade of many different accomplishments, helping people and helping the poor, being very generous with his expertise, and also alternative medicine, an expert in that. and product development, research and development of products, and is involved here. We're very happy to have him with us here and with Life Farm Global as our research consultant and product developer, however you want to call him. But Dr. Edward Andujar, thank you so very much for being with us tonight.
I'm very happy to be here. Can everybody hear all right?
I hear you just fine, sir. You're on your cell.
Okay, I don't hear you too well, but if you can hear me, all the better.
Yes,
let me just start, first of all, apologizing for last week. Personal emergencies occur all the time, so again, I apologize for that, but we'll go on with this week's call. First of all, I'd like to just go over a little bit about how it is that Laminine works, and I think Tom is right. This is better, and if you can just get excited about the product and it works, and like Irene says, I don't understand everything, but it works, and that's all I need to know. But just to give you a tiny bit that would be helpful when you're explaining this. Basically, Laminine, what it does is it helps the body heal itself. You have always heard that the best way for things to get healed is the body heals itself. And the way that Laminine does that is with the FGF, or the fibroblast growth factor. The FGF is the most important thing you need to know. It is important because it has been found scientifically and has been proven scientifically that the stem cells, the adult stem cells that you have in your body for all of your organs, they are there, but the problem is they're dormant. Dormant being that they're asleep. They're not awake. They don't do anything until they are stimulated by the FGF. And, of course, the FGF only exists in Laminine. And the only other place, of course, is in the placenta of a pregnant woman. And certainly that's where it should be because it helps the growth of the fetus. So the adult stem cells are everywhere. They're asleep. What happens is, as we age, cells go bad. When these cells go bad, they need something to awaken the stem cells. And what awakens and stimulates the stem cells is the FGF. And that is the secret of Laminine. The FGF is in Laminine. And when those cells are aging and dying, the FGF awakens and stimulates them to use the plant amino acids and the fish proteins to then heal and repair those cells. Those cells are repaired by the adult stem cells. And again, these are already there. God has put them there for us, and they're there to repair our cells. But again, they will not stimulate and repair the cells unless they are stimulated and awakened by the FGF. And so that's basically how it works. And the reason that it works in so many parts of the body is because so many parts of the body have their own adult stem cells. So for some people, it will affect the brain cells. For some people, it will affect the joint cells. Again, the adult stem cells that are in these different areas of your body will be stimulated by the FGF. And since they are everywhere, that's why it does so many good things for so many people. So then, having said that, I'm going to go on with what is the problem of the FGF and Laminine getting to their targets. When Wiki came to me and said, what is it that is stopping Laminine from working in certain people? Why isn't it working as well in certain people? And I said to him, well, the degenerative processes that occur in your body, in the digestive, in the circulatory, and in the immune, continue to happen every day. These degenerative diseases work on your body every day. So we need something to help all these different systems to then make sure we have the maximum use of the Laminine. So if you follow the pill, once you take it, the Laminine, it goes in your mouth and it goes into your GI tract, goes through your stomach, down into your intestines. Now, when it gets there, it has to have maximum absorption. Well, the problem is that as we get older, the digestive enzyme production decreases about 10% per decade after age 20. So that by the time you're 60, half of the amount of enzyme production is there. So you don't have as much absorption because you don't have the enzymes. In order to absorb carbohydrates, fats, and proteins, you must have enzyme production. So now, if by the time you're 60, or even after 20, as you go on, you're losing enzyme production, you're not absorbing as well. And it happens every day. So you need to make sure that you have maximum absorption. So that's why we made the product Digestive Triple Plus, because now you have 11 more enzymes that are coming in, protein, for starches, for carbohydrates, for fats, and gives you the maximum absorption of the nutrients. So the first problem is to make sure that you absorb all of the Laminine. If you don't absorb it, it's obviously not going to work because it's never going to get into your bloodstream. So in order to have maximum absorption, you need more enzyme production because as we age, we lose the enzyme production. So by taking Digestive 3 Plus, you are going to increase the absorption that you should have of the Laminine. Now, once it's in the bloodstream and absorbed, now it has to get to the target organ. So let's say, for example, the target organ is your knee and your joints. So the Laminine has to get there. Well, it has to follow in the circulation and get to the target organ. Now remember that in the target, through the circulation, you have many problems in our degenerative processes, especially with something called atherosclerosis, hardening of the arteries. How does that occur? Well, you have the oxidation that's in the wall vessels. You have the LDL, the bad cholesterol that attaches to the vessels, the calcium that attaches, and, of course, the high blood pressure from the outside, which can actually close off these vessels. So if the vessels do not have good circulation, the Laminine will never get to the target organ. Again, these are processes that are occurring every day, and so what we have to do is take omega, because omega takes all of these factors, the oxidation, the LDL, the calcium, and the high blood pressure, and it decreases all of them. Because all of the different ingredients, first the coenzyme Q10 decreases the oxidation, decreases the high blood pressure. The omega-3, 6, and 9 bring in the good HDL, which is the good cholesterol, to clean out the bad cholesterol, the LDL. And the vitamin K2 stops the calcium from laying on the arterial walls and puts that calcium into the bones and the teeth where it's needed. And by doing this, it will allow for there to be good circulation, and the Laminine can continue to flow to the target organ without any blockage in the arterial system. So then once that's done, let's just say now it's gone as far as it's going to go. Now it gets to the knee. So how does it work once it gets to the knee? Well, if the immune system is compromised, if the immune system is not working correctly and the white cells are not defending the immune system, then the FGF cannot do its work on the knee, because we know that as we age, our immune system becomes less effective, and a compromised immune system in one part of the body affects the whole part of the body. So we have to have a non-compromised. It cannot be immunocompromised. Otherwise, it cannot do its work at that particular target organ. So a weakened immune system has less B cells, T cells, and natural killer cells. These are all cells that are in the immune system. And our immune triple plus will allow there to be then more natural killer cells, more B and T cells, which will then strengthen the immune system, allowing then the FGF to come in and work at that spot. So the FGF reaches the knee. When it gets to the knee, it will stimulate the stem cells. When it stimulates the stem cells, then once again your own body, your own stem cells will on their own utilize the plant amino acids and the fish protein to then repair that target organ. In this example, it would be the knee. So it's absolutely crucial that all three of these, or all four, all three will help the laminine first be totally absorbed in the digestive system, then to get to the circulation to be able to get to the target organ, then to make sure you're not immunocompromised and it can work at the target organ, and then finally the FGF can again stimulate those adult stem cells that need to be stimulated in order to repair the organ, be it in your brain or knee or stomach or heart or brain, on whatever part of the body you need to be repaired. So in this way, you can see that all of these systems are degenerating over time. So by taking these supplements, all of them together can help to then allow to get the maximum effect of laminine. Thank you.
That's good information, Doc. I never, when you talk, just to clarify, when you said organ, in this case the knee, obviously people know that the knee's not an organ, it's part of the system and the whole body working together. Basically, if it does seem to tie together, which is kind of interesting that we have the products that we have that do give quite a big picture and a solution for a lot of different issues that we're dealing with. And I think that's priceless. And I need to grab another phone here before this dies on me. I apologize.
No worries. Let me just say also that I understand that, for financial reasons, maybe somebody can't get all four of the products. Well, then I always tell people, look at it this way. Try to pinpoint and target what's necessary for your prospect. So if a person has problems with cholesterol, blood pressure, and those types of things, and circulation, then you should tell that person to take Laminine and Omega. If a person has indigestion and acid reflux and irritable bowel syndrome, then that person should take Laminine with digestive. If a person has some serious bad condition like cancer and that person is immunocompromised by definition, then that person should take, again, Laminine with immune. So you kind of now have a array of different supplements that we can use for different types of problems that people may have. And so I would be careful to pinpoint what is targeted better for each prospect that you have.
Absolutely.
And I want to open up for as many questions as you have. I'm here the rest of the evening for you. Just shoot out the questions.
Okay, I'm going to start with me, Doc, and I thank you very much for coming on here. What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
I'm very much used to being on the radio, and I used to have many talk radio programs, and so I'm very used to answering questions and love answering questions immediately, when you have them. Awesome.
Well, one of the questions I'm going to ask on behalf of many different people here, if you can answer this question, is Laminine. What is the source of the protein that's in Laminine, the marine protein?
The marine protein, as far as I know, from the beginning of the time that I was there, is the Australian shark cartilage. And that's specifically of the cartilage itself, and not from the actual meat of the shark, but from the cartilage.
Okay, that's awesome. Good information there. Appreciate that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and unmute this line real quick, and if anybody would like to ask the good doctor a question, please feel free to do so one at a time. Anybody want to ask Dr. Andujar a question? Do so. Everybody's unmuted. Well, it doesn't look like everybody, actually about half of you.
Well, let me, while we're waiting for another question.
Go ahead, Doc.
I'd love to say, I'm just going to talk about some of the questions almost that I get routinely every time. First of all, the dosage. First, you have to remember that Laminine and all the products are 12-hour pills. And what that means is that they only last 12 hours. So that's why we always say take it at 7 and 7, or 8 and 8, or 9 and 9, the same hour twice a day, in order to make sure that you have it in your body for a period of 24 hours. Because obviously if you take it in the morning and you don't take it at night, if you just take twice as much in the morning, that doesn't give you the full dosage, because by taking twice as many, it gives you more for half the day, but zero for the other half the day. So you have to make sure that you take it 12 hours apart. When a doctor tells you to take something twice a day, that's what he's saying. If it's 3 times a day, it's every 8 hours. So essentially, it's every 12 hours. Even if you're just taking one pill, then I always suggest people to pop the pill open and use half of it in the morning and half of it in the evening. Again, it has a lot better effect if it's in your body for 24 hours. The other question that I get routinely is, there's the whole question about a bad condition like cancer. How is it that it can affect or can't affect? Well, you have to imagine now, when you get a tumor in your body, the tumor will affect the cells around it. It will start to destroy and damage a lot of the normal cells. And, of course, you have chemo that will damage more cells. And then when you have radiation, again, it's not pinpoint, so it damages more cells. All the normal cells keep on being damaged by all these different processes. What Laminine does, again, let's just say it's your liver. Well, what's going to happen is when Laminine gets there, Laminine, the FGF, will start working on the normal adult stem cells of the liver, and it will then awaken those stem cells, utilize the plant amino acids and fish proteins, and it will then repair the normal cells, not the cancer cells, but the normal cells. And by doing that, it will shrink the whole area, because now the damaged cells can be repaired. So the cells that are around the tumor are the cells that are going to be helped by the Laminine.
What about with food or without food?
That's exactly what I was just going to ask.
I can't hear you, Tom.
Go ahead, Stan.
Is it better with food or without
muffled.
food? Go ahead and ask him, Tom.
I can hear you.
I was telling Stan to go ahead and tell it, and when you said what you said, it covered him up. But anyway, should you take Laminine or any of these products with or without food?
All right, the objective is, of course, I always joke around and say, look, it doesn't matter, just take it. I don't care when you take it. But the issue is, if you can take it before, then obviously it's better because then it will be absorbed sooner than being taken after you eat. So if you, when the doctor gives you antibiotics, he always tells you to take it on an empty stomach. Why? So that it gets to the infections faster, that's all. It doesn't mean that it won't get to the infection if you take it afterwards. It just means if you take it after you eat, you will have to wait the 3 hours of digestion before it actually takes effect. It will still take effect, it just takes effect 3 hours later. So when possible, you try to do it before you eat so that it takes effect sooner rather than later. But again, it has no bearing on whether it will take effect if you take it before or after. It just takes longer. That make sense?
Yes. I have a question, Doc, maybe because you are a doctor. This is not specific to product other than a product. Well, it is about Laminine. Now that we're in the PDR, the physician's desk reference, how would you recommend the best approach is to expose Laminine to a doctor that somebody wants to share it with? I mean, do you just show them this, and what's the best approach with being a doctor? You tell me what you think about that.
Well, I think the fact that it's in the PDR obviously is a blessing because now we have some valid confirmation from the medical field that can do certain things, and that the study that I did that was a double-blind placebo-controlled study was, of course, what showed that it would be helpful with cholesterol, triglycerides, LDL, and blood pressure. So all of these are something that you should at least take a look at, know about it, and when you go to talk to the doctor, say, look, doc, it's in the PDR, and it's good for, cholesterol, LDL, and blood pressure, so I'd like to take it. And a lot of doctors probably won't even know that it's in there, and would be very surprised to hear that because it's not something that is most dietary supplements are not in the PDR, and for years dietary supplements were not even in the PDR, period. So now that they are in, there's very few that are, and the few that are the ones that have the valid studies to prove that they do something. So I think by just informing them that, look, it's in the PDR, and so I'd like to take it, so what do you think? I think just by informing them and educating them and letting them look through the PDR and see that, yes, it's in here, I think that a lot of them will, open their eyes and be a lot more accepting to the dietary supplement.
I think it's a huge accomplishment, and I'm not surprised because the benefits that people have received from the stories I've gotten, Stan on the line here and many others that have heard some of the testimonials we've heard. When you try to repeat them to somebody, they think you're crazy. They think, yeah, okay, was it a magic pill? Well, we've had people that have referred to it as their magic pill or, a miracle pill and different things like that, which we got to be really careful how we speak to people. And that actually, before we conclude this call, when we're sharing these products with people, we don't want to make any medical claims, obviously, Doc. You're a doctor. You could probably do that. But as lay people, basically we just talk about the body being the miracle. The product gets in and helps the body do what it's supposed to do. We don't ever mention getting off of any particular name medication, but we're allowed to say that the product can help you possibly get off of your current medications. What's the facts there? We don't want to end up losing our product.
Well, what I think, and I always tell people when I travel around the world and talk, is that you if you are planning to decrease any kind of medication, especially when you're talking about psychiatric medication, neurological medication, you must be very careful and you must taper off the dosage. And the usage of Laminine and other products should be tapered very slowly. As you take one off, you can pick the other one up, so that, over a 4-week period, you can drop off using a specific medication and increase the Laminine during that time period. And for those of you who are interested in doing that, you can, I would be more than happy to help you. All you need to do is send me the information, and I can, send it to me on an email, and I will slowly show you exactly how the best way is to taper one while you're utilizing the other. So, that's very important, again, that you do not, I repeat, you do not abruptly stop any medication that you're taking, because the body is not that resilient to that, and it's not very happy when that happens. So make sure that if you are going to taper off any medication, you talk to your doctor, you talk to me, and then let's do it very, very slowly.
All right, thank you, Doc. Now, last final request from you is to go ahead and give everybody your email address so they can do that.
All right, you can call right to research, RESEARCH, research at lifefarmglobal.com. Again, research at lifefarmglobal.com.
Awesome. Well, we certainly appreciate you being here tonight, and everybody has stayed on here listening to this great call. We thank you for your time, and we're going to have you come back again. And I understand there's more studies forthcoming on Laminine and other products.
Yes, we have finished a study on sugar, on the effect of Laminine on sugar, and the results are very promising, and we're looking forward to releasing that information by the end of the year. We also have just finished the study on immune, and we are in the middle of beginning our study on digestive. All of the products we will always test as we go along. And I'm happy to say that the one on Laminine and sugar, will probably be published by the end of the year. So we are very excited about that, and we're very excited about continuing our studies. It's the main reason I am there, to make sure that all products are tested. All products need to have a placebo-controlled double-blind study which will prove what they are supposed to do. And I will constantly be doing that on a regular basis, and we will have more and more studies as we go along.
Wonderful. I thank you so much, Dr. Andujar, for being with us tonight, and I wish you the rest of the evening, a great evening and a good week ahead. And again, we'll have Dr. Andujar back on future calls, sharing great information as time goes on here. And again, you can send your questions to research@lifefarmglobal.com to reach Dr. Andujar. It's Andujar, in case you need the spelling on that, and it's in the email. But we appreciate you being with us tonight, and all you great folks that have taken time out of your Sunday evening to be here. And we look forward to next week's call. We're going to have some great guests and speakers and testimonials and that. As time goes on, we're slowly getting back in the groove here, and I'm very excited about the future, and I can't say that enough. And we appreciate you. Thank you, and have a wonderful night. God bless you.